I am escaping. I'm heading out of town, getting out of Dodge, leaving the city behind. Okay, it's not that dramatic. I'll be back in about an hour. But we're going someplace fun.
Just a few miles north of Scottsdale, Arizona, you step back in time to the original stagecoach stop between Fort McDowell and Phoenix. And while most historic spots have ended up as ghost towns, this place is alive and well and one of Arizona's treasured getaways to experience the real flavor of the West. And if you haven't heard of it, that's okay. The philosophy here is you'll find it if you're supposed to. And believe me, you're supposed to. Lunch is on the grill and they're waiting for us. So I need the perfect getaway car to get there, and this is where Mike Gilbert at Sanderson Ford in Glendale comes in. He's got my great escape vehicle revved up and ready to go, the Ford Escape Hybrid.
It's adventurous. What's nice is you've got really good ground clearance. So you want to run it to Lake Pleasant, you want to run up north, you've got good ground clearance to take it off-road if you need to. You don't have to worry about getting a rock through the transfer case or anything like that. And they actually make a four-wheel drive available. And the nice thing about the four-wheel drive is you're not flipping any switches or anything to put it in four-wheel drive. The vehicle by itself can tell by wheel slippage when it needs to engage the four-wheel drive, or whether high or low. So it's completely hands-free four-wheel drive, but you still get the fuel economy of the front-wheel drive when you need it.
Imagine a vehicle that gets better gas mileage in the city than on the highway. You're looking at it, the new Ford Escape Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient SUV in America, with 31 miles per gallon on the highway, 34 in the city. And get this, the Escape recharges itself. Every time you apply the brakes as you're driving around town, you're recharging the battery. No need for electrical plug-in with this hybrid. It's absolutely self-sufficient. That's pretty amazing.
So that creates less brake fade. Your brake pads will actually last longer because most of that energy and power from the brakes are actually going to charge those batteries.
And it's probably the quietest ride I've ever experienced, and I'm not the only one. Mike tells me that some people actually put a sensor on the dash to let them know the vehicle is running.
Really, from a technology, from the hybrid components that it has, it's a completely unique vehicle based on anything else that's out there. There's no domestic manufacturers that have a hybrid technology out here like this. And then also it will keep track of all your hybrid components to make sure everything's running the way it needs to. But from a technology, they don't make it much smarter than this.
And it's so roomy.
For an SUV, and from the outside, it's really kind of deceiving how much room's in here. What I like is you can put this back seat down and put that back seat down if you need the cargo capabilities. You have a 60-40 split. So you can leave one seat up and put the other side down, or you can put the whole thing down and you got a completely flat loading surface. So if you want to put, your backpacks, you want to put your sleeping bags and all that kind of stuff when you're, you're going up camping or something like that, it gives you a lot of room. But if you need the room back there for passengers, you can adjust the seats.
But you gotta walk before you run, or in this case, learn how to park before you drive, or at least know how the Escape can park itself.
The Park Assist is a really great feature. If you're looking at parallel parking, which if you work in downtown Phoenix or other areas of the town, you do a lot of parallel parking, this vehicle will actually look for a parking spot. You push a button and it will search for a parking spot. Once you've found a parking spot, the vehicle will tell you whether you need to pull forward or reverse the vehicle back a little bit. And then once it says put the vehicle in reverse, you put the vehicle in reverse. You take your hands off the steering wheel and all you're doing is controlling the brake and the gas. The vehicle will actually steer itself to get you in that parking spot in a very timely manner. They're saying under 20 seconds you can usually get in any parking spot.
And totally accurate.
It's completely accurate. I've never had a problem with it. As long as you're making sure you control that brake and gas, you don't want to rear end a vehicle, but as long as you control that brake and gas, it's doing all the steering for you. So you don't have to worry about doing a 6-point turn or anything like that to get in that parking spot. The vehicle's actually controlling the turning to get you in that parking spot. Look, Jan, no hands. And I'm finished. Put the vehicle in park and we're in a parking spot.
Love it.
It's a great feature, yeah. And you see it in a lot of the luxury vehicles, but this is one of the least expensive vehicles out there that has this feature available to it. So.
Great! I'll let the Escape Hybrid do the hard work. I'll just hop in and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, today we're escaping to the wild, wild west. Okay, it's pretty close to the heart of the city, but it's wild. And if you're looking for a juicy burger, a great place to take out-of-towners, and a place to hang with the locals and tourists and bikers and cowboys, 2 words: Greasewood Flat.
It's definitely an Arizona original, and we love it. No problem bringing a gang to Greasewood. It seats 1,000 on the outside, and it'll feed every one of them from this tiny bunkhouse kitchen. It's got a big indoor barn for special events, and everywhere you look, remnants from the past, when Riata Pass was a much-needed rest stop along the dusty, rocky Stagecoach Trail. People from all over still stop here, and people of all kinds, families and bikers and cowboys and kids.
I love Greasewood Flat. I love Greasewood Flat.
Ron Boring is the GM here, and he sees them all.
Families, single people, Harley riders, everything, they just come on in.
And donkeys
And yes, we have live animals. We have donkeys and chickens and stuff like that for you to check out. Antiques all over the place.
It's been voted the porkiest bar in Arizona and one of the Food Network's top 10 destinations in the U.S. But don't tell anyone. Entertainment and Arizona's Western hospitality will get you here, and this is what'll bring you back. The hearty half-pound steak-trimmed 90% lean grilled Greasewood Flat Bacon Green Chili Cheeseburger with a side of homemade chili. There are lots of other things on the menu, but why?
This is the probably last place of the Old West in Arizona that probably still exists, and it's truly Arizona.
Now that was a blast today. You know, great escapes should happen much more often, especially when you find a place like Greasewood Flat within your own city limits. And of course, if you're looking for a longer getaway that requires more fuel, this is your vehicle right here, the Ford Escape Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient SUV in America. We'll see where the road leads us next on Affordable Eats, Affordable Drives.